Good day, grade 4 pupils. Welcome to our science class. And today, we will be talking about effects of decaying materials to our health. And before we will start with our class, let us have first some class rules. First, listen carefully in order to understand the lesson. Second, make sure you have your notebook and pen with you all the time so you can jot down ideas and important information about our lesson. And third, if you could not understand some part of the lesson, you can watch the video again. And our objective for today is discover the effects of decaying materials in one's health. Now today, we have another virtual friend, and he will discuss to us about food spoilage. Now sit down and relax, and let us watch the video.
You've seen it, growing on your fruit, eating your leftovers, and maybe even hiding in your basement. This is mold. It smells bad, it's creepy looking, and even if you don't know much about it, you probably know enough to keep it as far away from your mouth as possible. But what would happen if you ate some without realizing it? What would it do to your body? And is there any situation where it could actually taste good? This is What If. And here's what would happen if you ate mold. There are up to 300,000 different types of mold, and they could affect you in very different ways. Some could ruin your day by causing nausea or diarrhea. Some could be used to make expensive cheeses. And others could nearly kill you. So how do you know which kind of mold you're dealing with? And is it ever okay to just eat around the mold on your food? I'm asking for a friend. Mold is the microscopic fungi you can find living on plants, animals, and even in buildings. Molds form branches that are like thin threads called hyphae. These can burrow into food, something you might miss since they can be difficult to see. If you do notice mold growing on your food, your first question will probably be, should I throw this away? So we've put together a little guide to help you figure it out. If you find mold on soft foods like yogurts, jams, peaches, or tomatoes, you should throw them out right away. But if you find mold on harder foods like cheese, carrots, or hard salami, it's okay to cut the mold out and eat the rest of your food. Harder, denser foods are more difficult for mold to penetrate, meaning it can't spread inwards as quickly as it can in softer foods. But let's imagine that you didn't have this handy guide and you ate some moldy food. What would happen to you? Well, the biggest problem wouldn't be the mold itself. It's the other things that come along with the mold that could really hurt you. First off, there's the invisible bacteria that can accompany the mold. If you eat that bacteria, you would experience stomach pain, vomiting, and several urgent trips to the washroom. But that would be nothing compared to the damage that would come from eating something called mycotoxins. Mycotoxins are poisonous substances that are produced by certain strains of mold. They can be found in a variety of foods and can survive almost all kinds of food processing. There are many types of mycotoxins, about 500 to be specific. Perhaps the most dangerous variety is known as aflatoxin. Aflatoxin grows on corn and peanuts. Too much aflatoxin can cause liver damage, cancer, DNA damage, and immune system deficiency. But not all mold is harmful. In fact, Some people eat mold on purpose. Take blue cheese, for example. It's produced using the non-toxic blue molds Penicillium roqueforti and Penicillium glaucum. These molds have antibacterial properties that enable them to suppress pathogens. They also break down proteins, which is why blue cheese is so creamy and has a sharp flavor. Just like most things on our planet, there's more to mold than meets the eye. Sure, it can make you sick, but it's also the key to one of the most powerful antibiotics of all time, penicillin. Maybe there's another world-changing innovation just waiting to be discovered somewhere in that fuzzy blue mess. But that's a topic for another What If.
Did you find decayed food items in your refrigerator? Food spoilage is one form of decay. Leftover food should be checked first before eating them to make sure they are not spoiled. Canned goods and other food products can also spoil when stored for a long time. Spoiled foods are not safe to eat. They may contain disease-causing bacteria that can weaken your body and make you sick. Here are some signs of food spoilage. Presence of molds or bubbles on food. Foul odor. And canned food with a bulging end. Food becomes spoiled due to the growth of microorganisms or microbes. These are very tiny organisms, like yeast or mold, that cause changes in the food. They easily grow on warm and moist places. Eating spoiled food can cause different kinds of illnesses. Here are some of those illnesses: cholera, diarrhea, and food poisoning. You need to see a doctor immediately if you suffer from these illnesses. If not treated immediately, your condition can worsen in a matter of hours. Decaying waste or garbage can also have bad effects on your health and safety. Garbage decaying in street corners or open spaces serves as breeding places for flies, cockroaches, rats, and mosquitoes. These animals are carriers of disease-causing germs. Diseases like malaria, leptospirosis, and dengue fever can be spread by these insects and rodents. Decaying garbage is also unsightly and gives off a foul smell. It can contribute to pollution, which also affects your health. Let us learn vocabulary for today. Microorganisms or microbes. These are very tiny organisms, like yeasts or mold, that cause changes in the food. They easily grow on warm and moist places. Food spoilage. It is one form of food decay. Cholera. It is an infectious disease that causes severe watery diarrhea, which can lead to dehydration and even death if untreated. Diarrhea. It is characterized by abnormally loose or watery stools. Most cases of diarrhea are due to bacteria, viruses, or parasites. Food poisoning. It is an illness caused by eating contaminated food. Did you know that microbes do not only cause changes in food? Certain microbes, called decomposers, break down fallen leaves, wood, and dead organisms. Some chemicals from the broken down materials are then absorbed by plants as nutrients from the soil. Now, get your notebook and try to answer the following questions. That would be all for today. Goodbye and have a good day. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. This is Dr. Ruel Bongasiso. Have a good day. Goodbye.